John Cena, thank you for giving me time. Very excited to be in this room.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're living two lives, one in the ring, one on a movie set. How are these two lives different?
The style of storytelling is different. WWE is based off of a wonderful narrative. We tell stories.
Yeah.
Movies are that same storytelling aspect, just a different venue. The giant screen makes subtle movements very powerful, where if you go see a WWE performance, everything is big and large because the arenas are so packed, everyone has to be able to see.
Right, that's a great way to look at it because it's so physically exhausting for someone like you to be there and do those things, and you see it as storytelling. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah,
right?
and it's amazing because a lot of people are asking me, like, did being in WWE prepare you for any of the stunt scenes? I'm like, no, it actually prepared me for the movie.
Yeah.
Because we tell stories, and now we tell stories. So I just use my strengths on being able to connect with an audience and tell a story and kind of put it into the shoes of another character.
Right. Fans are writing a lot of things to you. Do you get time to read? Someone will say, we want to see you there, and someone will say, we want to see you in movies.
Yes, so the WWE audience strongly, often to the point of criticism, wants me to come back and be in the WWE ring, which I will be very soon, December 26th. I'll start a nice little bunch of performances there.
Right.
And the movie people finally are like, hey man, you may be good for this role, or
right.
I heard you were cast or thought of for this role. So I'm grateful that in one hand, one audience misses me, even if they're talking bad about me. And I'm also grateful that another audience is more open to be like, hey, you could play this character, or you could play this character. Those are real good problems to have.
Right, but you really think, you can manage both well, or you can, that's a good life?
The best I can do is the best I can do.
So
I'm just going to, it sounds so cliche, but I take one day at a time.
Yeah.
And I look forward to getting this movie out. And right after, I'm going to be back in the ring for a little bit, and we'll see where it goes.
Right. John, I always wanted to ask you this. For someone who has a huge fan base like yourself, how are decisions taken in your life? Even if you go for a haircut, they have an opinion.
Just know that everybody, that's okay. Like, that's why I sign up to do what I do. I think when you go for a haircut and you sit down in the chair and everybody's silent, you need to reevaluate your skill set because maybe you're not reaching the audience you want to.
Right.
But it comes with the territory. And over the years, I mean, I've been at this a long time now, so I think there probably was a patch of time where it might have affected me, but it's people expressing their passions.
Yeah.
Hey man, think about doing this, or why'd you do that? You look ridiculous, or all that stuff. I mean, the latest thing is like, you grew your hair out, you look stupid. So that is what it is. It's just, and I take a comment like that as like, hey man, we really missed how you were.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Right. The fact that they say this, they all feel that they own a little bit of you.
I think, and that's great because that means essentially my body of work has affected people's lives, which is pretty cool.
It has touched many lives. What was in for you when you signed Bumblebee?
I just knew that it would be a little bit of a chance, a little bit of a risk, not just for me, because it's a different type of character, for the movie. Travis Knight took a lot of bold chances in changing the look of Bumblebee, changing the even how fast they transform. It's a lot less slick.
Right.
It's more mechanical, like the 80s. Even doing a piece in the 80s was fun, and the story was good.
Right. Was the set fun? You knew what happened in the 80s. You knew of the Walkman. Your co-actor didn't know about the Walkman. What was the set like?
Just like that. Sometimes Hailee was confused, and she's so nice. She doesn't want to bug anybody for an explanation, but eventually people would come around and be like, okay, and this huge plastic tape, you could watch a whole movie on it. It was great. So a little bit of education for her, but she can speak better on that than I can. For me, it was just great to see all that old tech, like being surrounded by macro computers and tape drives. It was a nice walk down memory lane, especially because you can essentially hold a supercomputer in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, the detailing was really good, whether it was the Walkman, the t-shirt, the records, there's a computer screen with some DOS operating system.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to see all that? You were like, wow.
I didn't get so much of the pop culture stuff because I was lodged into special forces.
Right.
But that stuff was really, really interesting. I mean, you had these massive government sets that were just so archaic. Like that wall could be done with this phone right now. So it was cool to see how far we've come.
Right. Also, your character, when you're looking at something and reacting as if the thing is really in front of you, what is that like? Because that acting must be really different when there's actually nothing in front of you.
It's different, but it's not bad. It's just different. I think people who gravitate towards performing arts, they have an imagination. I think we all have an imagination.
Right.
And you as an actor, those are chances you really get to use it.
Right.
You know, if we're talking together, your body language and your words give me, that's all I can react to.
Right.
But if there's nothing there, I can make my own reactions. You know, so instead you can look at it two different ways. Right. I looked at it as a chance to be imaginative.
You look at everything positively. That's absolutely wonderful.
Why not, right?
Yeah, that's true. Also, what is it like? Well, you know, if I come on a set where you were there looking at those things, will I understand anything?
You would watch what we shoot,
Yeah.
and then watch the movie and be like, "Whoa, it wasn't like that when I was there."
Yeah.
But that's why movie magic exists, and that's why movie magic is wonderful. The first time I saw the movie, even in using my imagination to see what Bumblebee would look like, the visual effects make it so beautiful, and the movie magic makes it so beautiful. And then you add in scoring and sound and all the color and everything. It really is beautiful.
Right. If you're given a choice to give out a making of one of your scenes to the viewers so that they understand what you're actually shot, what scene would you select?
There is a conference scene in the war room between myself, the generals, and a scientist.
Right.
And we did a bunch of outtakes in there. So that's kind of what my life is like on a movie set, where we do the serious stuff. And then the director was kind enough to say, like, "Hey, can you waste some tape?" Boy, did I ever. So I think you get a serious side of, like, if you need me to do this, I'll do my best. And then when they say, "Hey, drop your guard and just go for broke," there's two sides of me in there. So I hope maybe the digital or Blu-ray has some of those outtakes.
Right. It's interesting what they've done with this. If humans could turn into cars, which car would you be?
Wow, that's a good question. I think, as much as I love sports cars and I'm really big on comfortable sedans as well.
Yeah.
I think I would probably choose something like sporty yet utilitarian.
Right.
I think of I know Jeep has a car called the Cherokee Hellcat.
Right.
So that's like 800 horsepower, 4-wheel drive, looks slick but can go off road if you needed to.
Wow.
So and it's comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think all those characteristics, or anything that checks those boxes.
Right, that's wonderful. John, when who gives you good feedback? Because, you know, when a film like this comes out, everybody who's around you will tell you all nice things.
That's not true. That's not true. Everyone gives good feedback. I keep my circle of friends extremely close, and they are extremely grounded.
They'll tell you that
if I do something bad, they let me know. I don't choose to surround myself with people who are complacent in, "Hey man, you did great." I want to surround myself with people better than me, and I want to surround myself with honest folks that will let me know. And plus, I got 4 brothers, and to me, I'm nothing more than like, "Hey, remember when you used to beat me up? Hey, remember when you used to beat me up?" Like that. So I'm really in a good place. Whereas I connect with a lot of people, but I don't keep a lot of people close that will just be like, "You're the man." That's not a good position for growth.
That's lovely that, you know, they keep telling you and you take that feedback. That's absolutely wonderful.
You can learn something from everybody, man.
I'm sure. Any plans to come to India?
Gosh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I was there so long ago. I think maybe 2004.
Oh, where did you go?
And it was the most. It was like I walked on water. Like the fans were unbelievable.
I'm sure.
And the WWE, I think, has been there 3 times since.
Yeah.
And I want to go back, but I want to go back to perform as a WWE superstar. Because as you know, India is huge for the WWE.
It is.
Fans are just so dedicated. I want to be able to perform for them at least once before my existence over there is done.
Great, and for now they will see your film Bumblebee. They are eagerly waiting for that. So best of luck for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for talking to us. Hey, welcome to NDTV. Good to see you.
You too, thank you.
Hailee, you know, mostly films with cars have boys because, you know, it's pretty much that's how films are made. It's so good to see Transformers having a female character in a film like that. Are you proud of it? Is your family, your friends, how are they reacting?
I am very proud of this film and how it turned out. I actually was able to see the final cut of it for the first time with my family and friends just a couple days ago, and they seem to really love it. It's always exciting when, you know, you get to share something that you love with the world and with your friends and family. And for me, watching this film for the first time was really exciting because of the fact that so much of this film is obviously visual effects.
Yeah.
It definitely came together in the end, so
Right.
it was really exciting to see.
So are all your girlfriends going like, go girl, this is your film?
Yes, absolutely. I do have the support of many of my girlfriends that actually love the film, and I'm very excited about that.
Right. Could you tell us how this, it's different on the set from what we see on the screen? Say like the first scene when you are below the car and you're looking into the eyes and it transforms. What is there for you on the set?
It's different. It's different depending on the scene. That one particularly. There was at one point there was nothing but the camera and a little piece of tape on the camera for my eyeline, and and Travis sort of off camera telling me what was going on. Travis, our
Right.
director, moment to moment, so that my reactions were authentic.
Is that tough?
Very,
Yeah.
very. And other times it was a tennis ball on a stick, which was very strange.
Right.
Later in that scene where Bumblebee transforms,
Right.
they had someone come in that was on stilts, so that
Right.
would give me the feeling of what it was like having, something of that size or of that height
Right.
moving around me.
Right. So how much of it can we say is actually made on the computer, and how much do you guys shoot?
Well, factually, that could probably be better answered by the director,
Right,
but
sure.
for me, it felt like 85 to 90% of the film was visual effects, and the rest I luckily had an amazing cast around me to
Right.
to work opposite. But yeah, the majority of the making of this film took place with nothing.
Like you say, when there was sometimes nothing in the room. When you first time see what they made, what is the reaction? Is it like, wow?
Absolutely. I saw, sketches sort of as we were
Okay.
going along, which
Right.
was, a little weird because you're kind of like, this looks great on paper. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be exactly what it looks like in the film,
Right.
but yeah, sure, it looks awesome. And so, like I said, when I saw the film for the first time, it was so rewarding to see it all come together.
Right. So if the makers were ask you that, okay, let's give out one scene to the viewers for them to understand how this is done, which scene will you select?
Oh, wow. Maybe that beginning scene where Charlie first meets Bumblebee.
Right.
Definitely very interesting how it was done. I think people would, or I guess anytime there was any physical contact made with the Transformer, where
Right.
he, puts his hand on my head to like ruffle my hair.
Yeah,
I think people would, love to see what that really looks
That
like.
is very adorable. How is that done?
Well, that one was a sort of foam hand on a pole that
Okay.
somebody like reached in and just would like move it over my head. Yeah.
Okay. Could you, for the benefit for our viewers who have not seen the film yet, so this is a girl. She's turning 18 and she wants a car.
Yes.
Could you tell them more?
Absolutely. That's where it begins. This is Charlie Watson's story. It's Bumblebee's origin story, and
Right.
Charlie is a part of it. And she sort of falls into it that it's her 18th birthday, and she's looking for a car because that's her sense of freedom and her way to independence. And she's at that time in her life where she's trying to figure out who she is and
Right.
what she's good at and what she's all about. And her
Right.
way of finding that out in her mind is just starting a new life and getting out of the house.
Right.
And so she is working this dead-end job to hopefully make enough money to buy a
Right.
car, and ends up coming across one that is also a transformer.
Lovely. For the director to take a young girl for this film and to transform her back into 87 when you were not born, what were the new things for you on the set? Things that you were like, okay, this exists.
There were a few things here and there that I sort of I knew about and had heard about and had seen before, but didn't necessarily know how to use exactly. Just some of the bits of technology. Charlie listens to her Walkman every morning, every day. That was something that I just was kind of like, I'm going to act like I know what I'm doing here because I think I do, but somebody tell me if I'm doing it right.
And what about the t-shirts, the band t-shirts? You'd heard of them before?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So I grew up listening to a very wide variety of music, and music of the 80s was a part of that. So it didn't feel so foreign to me. And she has some of the greatest, bands and artists of the 80s on her t-shirts in this film.
Okay. Also, it's an emotional story. She's really attached to this car and to Bumblebee, and also a very different relationship with each family members as it, as the film progresses, it keeps changing. Could you tell us about how emotional is your character?
My character is very emotional. She just has this whole story is, it's a real coming of age story for everybody in this film, I think. We meet her and find that she where we learn that she's just lost her father.
Right.
And obviously, any loss in a family is tragic and heartbreaking and not easy to deal with. But in Charlie's case, this is not only her dad, but the one person that she really felt understood her and helped her and guided her and accepted her. And she's at this point in her life where she's lost. She's just turning 18. She's just, like I said, figuring out who she is. And it's hard to look or find those answers to those questions without the help of somebody that understands you. And that alone is just, that's, very emotional.
Right. When you shoot a film like that, what would be those few things, or if I ask you one toughest part of making a Bumblebee for an actor like you?
Well, I guess sort of bridging off what we were just talking about, a lot of the emotional scenes take place between Charlie and Bumblebee, and for me on set there was no Bumblebee there, and that was definitely challenging, having to emote to something that wasn't there or that wouldn't respond back or say anything, but that I have to say, and playing, this role was very physically demanding as well, which definitely plays into the challenge of it all. So,
right. And what would be your biggest takeaway? Something that'll stay with you forever. Like whenever you remember Bumblebee, you're like, okay, this happened.
I think that this film has such a sense of wonder that I absolutely love, and I remember watching films growing up, feeling like this film understands me, this gets me, this sees me, and there's something about this movie that has that, and I feel like I was able to create this relationship with something that wasn't there, and now watching this film and seeing it come together, Bumblebee is like the most lovable object you've ever come across, and I don't know, I think I'll always take away that sense of wonder and hope.
Right. It's not possible, but Bumblebee speaks through radio stations and music. Since you said you love music and you've grown up on music, do you relate to that? Would you have a song for a mood?
I have a song for every mood, which is why, part of the reason I love their relationship so much. They communicate through music. That's Bumblebee's way of communicating with everybody.
Right.
And I love that. Music is such a universal language. There is a song for just about every mood, every situation, every experience. So I love that it's so driven by music.
Right. If humans could become cars, which car would you be?
I don't know. What kind of car would you become?
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee? There is something that I do like that, he is this massive, intimidating, protective transformer, and then he turns into this super cute little Bumblebee.
Right.
I agree.
Great. Before we go, what should the viewers expect in the next year?
From me?
Yeah.
Well, this movie is something I'm so incredibly proud of, and I'm so excited to close this year out with this film, but I hope that they love it so much, and I will continue on with music, and I'm working on a TV show at the moment called Dickinson that will finish at the top of the year as well, so yeah, see what next year has to bring.
Great. You've done this very well. So proud of you. Thank you, and keep entertaining us.
Thank you so much.